Hey guys, welcome back to the 504 Podcast. I'm one of the hosts of the 504 Podcast, Mark. Erica's not joining me today, but we're going to do something special. I have a special guest here, Adrian. How you doing, Adrian?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
I can't complain. I never can complain. I mean, I can complain, but I'm not going to complain. But we're going to do something that's a little fun. We are going to do our top 10 video games. Now, these aren't the top 10 video games that the world classifies as the best video games in the world, because Tetris would win, and we're not playing Tetris or the first Super Mario or the games that revolutionized. We're not. What's the one that you? Whenever I used to go to the laundromat, there was this video game. It was Pac-Man, and it was some other little video game with a spaceship, and you go pew.
Galaga.
Galaga's
great.
Sorry, not doing that.
Yeah, didn't make my top 10, but it's a good game.
I mean, my little quarter never lasted far. the little bugs would be going down like this, and I'm just shooting them. Then all of a sudden, they do the little scoop down and get you.
Did you get the two planes?
I've gotten it at one point. Yeah,
the two plane glitches.
I've gotten it at one point, and then they take it out.
Yeah,
and
as long as you get the two planes before the first bonus round, you're good. Cheat codes.
All right, so video games. I noticed you were into them the other day. We played some Call of Duty.
Yes.
I'm terrible at it.
No, you did well, man. You did well.
I got lucky with an RPG.
Don't sell yourself short.
A little RPG in the car action.
So, do you want me to start, or do you want to start?
You know what? You are the guest. You can start.
Okay, so like what you said earlier, this is not like the top 10 games of all time. It's just like my personal list. Just kind of influenced me with gaming. And my number 10, first console I ever had was Sega Genesis back when I was in like first grade kindergarten. So I have to go with Sonic number 2.
Sonic 2, that was on my list, and I took it off.
I have to go with Sonic 2. Sonic 1 was good. I had it, I played it, but I was a little older when 2 came out. And the fact that you could play with Tails, and then if you bought a Sonic and Knuckles, that you could put the cartridges together and have all three of them in the same game was really cool. So like that was like my first introduction into gaming. Back in, 99, 98, something like that. So I have to put...
Really?
Yeah. I feel like Sonic 2 came out in like 96, 97, 98, around there.
No, that's way too late. 98, I was in 8th grade. Sonic 2 came out when I was probably more like in 3rd grade. It came out like 93, 94. You know what? We're spitballing. Look it up. Yeah,
because I was only 2
right
in 93, so that's impossible.
The game that I would have picked over Sonic 2 was probably Sonic 3, because that's when they introduced like the powers that he had, the electricity power, introduced Knuckles. That was the one that really like put Sonic like there for me. I was like, oh shoot, Knuckles. And then surprising fact about the game, it wasn't finished.
Right.
Sonic 3 didn't get finished. It was supposed to be Sonic 3, and then it was supposed to be Sonic with Sonic and Knuckles. Oh, I got poor connection here. And what happened was they just ran out of time, and they released half the game, and then they released the second half, and they had a cool little way where you can just add the cartridge to it.
Yeah, so it says here that Sonic the Hedgehog 2 came out in 1992.
92. So I was close.
I was 1 when it came out.
I was close.
I didn't have a Genesis till kindergarten, so that was like the first video game I ever played.
Sonic 3, I actually stole that from someone.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
well, that's not good.
It's a bad story. I feel so bad about it.
That's not good.
I stole that game. I was at somebody's house, and they just left it sitting on the carpet.
That's not good.
I said, "What's that?" Picked it up, put it in my pocket. All right, my number 10 game, and a lot of my games are modern, but I'm gonna go back to the retro style. Shadow of the Colossus.
Okay, Shadow of the Colossus was a really good game,
and it was a game where there's very few words, and you kind of just played the game, and you discovered how to beat these giant colossi.
Yep.
And at the end of the game, you go, oh, shoot. You thought that you were the good guy, and then you realize, no, you weren't the good guy.
Yeah. Shadow of Colossus really mastered the art of the boss fight, because that whole game is
It was all boss fights. I think it was 11
Yeah, it's like 10 or 11.
Yeah, I think it was 10, and then there was like the last one.
Yeah, that's that. Like when people tell me like, oh, what's a game with like really good boss fights, I always go Shadow Colossus for sure.
Yeah, I didn't play the remastered version. I heard it was like a beautiful game.
I have it downloaded. I haven't played it yet. I played the original was PS2, right?
Was it?
Or was it PS3?
No, it wasn't PS1.
It wasn't PS1. I think it was PS2. Or maybe it was PS3.
I think it might have been PS3.
Might have been PS3. I have the remaster.
I think it might have been PS3.
Yeah, I have the remaster for PS4.
They remastered for PS4.
Because it was like one of the free games, so I just downloaded it. I was like, I'll go back
I downloaded it also, but I also used the cheat code for it.
Oh, okay.
So I had like invincible health. I was climbing up on their back. They were shaking me off. But you can't. The cheat code wouldn't let you use it for the last one.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So because you would just like run straight to it and it wouldn't let you, and you had to actually go through the tunnels and stuff. So one game that did not make the list, and I'm realizing it as I'm talking about it, and I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to change something out or not, or actually. Go ahead. What's your number 9?
So my number 9 is Need for Speed Underground 2.
That's a good one.
So I love racing games. I'm a huge Need for Speed fan. I really like Need for Speed Underground, the first one. I had it for the GameCube, and I put a lot of hours into that game with the customization and stuff. But when Underground 2 came out for the PS2, that just kind of like blew everything out of the water. And they haven't really made a racing game like that ever since then. So for me, Need for Speed Underground 2, like if you like racing games, that definitely should make your list. And it's in my number 9 slot because it was just so good.
I remember like getting the car and like putting the lights and stuff on it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, you made the magazine cover. Yeah. And you would like open the doors and set it up.
Yeah, I feel like if EA just wanted to make they should just Need for Speed Underground 2 you could just copy paste it and just update the cars every year and it would be like a perfect racing game.
Yeah, I mean, now with the formula of re-releasing, like giving like downloadable content packs where you can just download, PS5 cars.
Exactly. Like that's what I'm saying. Like they just add DLC to it and just keep the game alive.
Yeah, that might have been one of the most perfect racing games I've ever played.
It was right there. It was up like it was really good. I mean, they just remastered Hot Pursuit for like current gen consoles, which is interesting. But Need for Speed Underground 2 is, I think, still is the best like street racing game out there, because you can make the argument for like Forza and Gran Turismo being like the best simulators.
Yeah,
but Need for Speed Underground was just like that whole like street racing scene was that's definitely up there for me.
I mean, I like the Burnout series as well. I thought what Burnout did was great. There was another one. It was like Mario Kart, but like real cars. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. I really thought that didn't get its day in the light like it should have.
That's escaping me right now.
And
Burnout was fun. Like it was really fun and like arcadey. But I feel like if around that time, Need for Speed Underground, like when that series was out, the Fast and the Furious movies were big.
Yeah.
So that's when like everybody was into that whole like I'm gonna mod my car scene. So like I feel like Underground just did the modding better than anybody else.
Yeah, it was almost perfect. Yeah. I think if they re-released it with a bigger city, same exact driving controls. I mean, I downloaded the free one that they had. Whatever one that is.
Rivals, I think.
Was it Rivals? It might. All I know is you were driving the car and then it got stolen. Some other nonsense.
I have it too. It's not bad, but it's not great either.
Yeah, I don't like the driving controls on it. All right, so my number 9, and this is a really good game, but it only made number 9. Batman Arkham City.
Oh no, that's just wrong on so many levels.
Number 9, Batman Arkham City, man. You got to be Batman, and you got to like it was as close to open world as possible. And if you can see the look on his face, it's probably because he had that game on his list at some point.
I still have it on my list. Spoiler alert.
So it must be pretty high then.
Yeah, it's
number
very
9,
high.
Batman Arkham City. Want to know what it's like to be Batman? This is the game. And a lot of the like even the Spider-Man game they take from Arkham City as far as like the counter system.
Yeah,
stealth system.
For sure. I mean, I think you have it a little. I don't think you have it in the right slot on your list, but at least it's on your list. But yeah,
it's my list.
I'll talk about it more when it comes to my turn.
Okay, well, it's my list.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Number 8.
So number 8, I have Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3.
Never played any of the Budokais.
So there's a huge argument with like Dragon Ball gamers, which is the best Dragon Ball game. It's either Budokai 3 or Budokai Tenkaichi 3. It just really depends on what type of fighting style you like. Budokai Tenkaichi is your third-person fighter, and then Budokai 3 is your 2D fighter, like across the screen, as opposed to just like 3D fighter where you can just go everywhere. So like the new Xenoverse games are like Tenkaichi, whereas Dragon Ball FighterZ, which is the newest Dragon Ball fighting game, is more like Budokai. So the reason I like Budokai 3 is because I like that classic, 2D fighter game that we've all played, the Street Fighters, Tekken, stuff like that. But I like the Dragon Ball one because it immerses you into like that Dragon Ball world that we all grew up with. Like Dragon Ball Budokai 3, the story starts like we're always used to from the Saiyan saga all the way to the Buu saga. But then it has like what ifs, like you get the Super Saiyan 4 characters, you get the Broly characters. Your roster's huge. It's like 70 fighters or something like that.
That's not bad.
So that, and then you can customize all their skills with capsules.
Wait, 75 characters though? Like, were there 75 characters in Dragon Ball Z at that point?
Well, yeah. I mean, well, you gotta. So there's
Main
70.
characters?
So there's not 75 like selections.
Oh, they're like modified.
But you can like your transformations. Like if you pick Goku, as long as you have all of the skills unlocked, you can go from base all the way to Super Saiyan 4.
Now, is that 5 different characters, or is it?
It's one character.
It's one character, and you can level up, or not level up, but you can power up.
You can transform mid-game. As long as you have the right amount of energy, you can transform in the middle of the game.
And that counts as one character?
That's one character.
So then how did they get 75?
Well, if you're counting all of the transformations, you get 70-something characters. So I like that game a lot because you can pretty much like custom build your character with capsules. It like gives them skills and stuff like that. And then if you unlock like the golden capsule, it gives them all of the skills.
I'm gonna turn the camera when you're talking,
so
people don't just see me going, "Oh yeah, what's going on?"
So yeah, that game. I mean, it came out originally for the PS2, and then they re-released it like for the anniversary for like PS3 and Xbox 360. That game is really fun. Like if you like Dragon Ball, if you like fighting games, Budokai 3 you can't go wrong with.
I don't know. I had a fighting game on my list. It was gonna be Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
That's a good one. That's definitely a good one.
That's the one that like I hold to like the standard.
Yeah,
that's
a really good game. That's a FGC game. It's got a really good engine too. A lot of fighting games now copy that engine. So
I think, what did they have, like 55 characters?
With like bonus characters, yeah, it was a pretty big roster. It was a pretty big roster. Yeah, but yeah, that's my number 8, Budokai 3 for sure.
All right, number 8 for me is a game that no one's ever heard of. I found it because I only had a couple dollars, and I was at GameStop, and I was like, let me get up out of here. And I don't think it was called GameStop at this time. It was called EB Games in Newport Mall.
Yes.
I only had a few dollars on me. I wanted to pick up a game. The character looked interesting. It's called Azure Dreams. Adrian's looking like he's never heard of it.
I've never heard of this game.
So, Azure Dreams is...
What console was it?
PlayStation 1.
Okay, yeah.
And it's a dungeon crawler game.
Nice.
So, you go in, and it's sort of like Pokemon before Pokemon. You get to go in, and you get to capture these monsters and take them back and train them, and then you go back into the tower. But the thing is, whenever you go back into the tower, you always start back at level 1. So you can level up in the tower and get stronger in the tower, but the moment you leave the tower, you go back to not being strong, and then you got to start at level 1 all over again. So the only way to master the tower is to find really good weapons in the tower and level up your monster.
Okay.
And it's also, another weird component of it is, I don't know what these games are called when it's like there's squares on the ground. You can only move one turn.
Those are like strategy games, like real-time strategy games.
Yeah, so I guess it's like a real-time strategy dungeon crawler.
Okay.
So, and if monsters would come, you'd have to plan carefully, because if you move last, they could hit you first. Depending on
that's pretty cool.
Depending on how it is. So you have
Azure Dream?
Azure Dreams.
Interesting.
When I upload it, I'm gonna put pictures of all the games.
Okay, cool.
So
yeah,
I have it in my house. I think somewhere. Azure Dreams.
EB Games, Electronic Boutique. I remember EB Games before they became GameStop.
Yeah, that's when they used to rip you off early.
Yeah, and there was like another one. It was like Planet something. I forget. It was like
it was
something.
like Planet Hollywood's. Like they had.
It was Game Crazy, because I used to work at Game Crazy before they all went out of business. But there was another game store too. I forget what it was called. But now it's just GameStop, pretty much.
Yeah, and they're going out of business.
Yeah.
Slowly.
Yeah.
All right, that's my number 8.
So my number 7 might be a little controversial. Is Halo 2.
Wait, that was so short.
Well, it's not because of the campaign though.
Oh, you're just talking about just
Halo 2 was like my first real first-person shooter online experience back with the original Xbox. I was in 8th grade going into high school freshman year. And that's when like online gaming was starting to blow up. Like all of my older cousins had online gaming. I had that SOCOM Navy SEALs game for PS2 that was online, but it was garbage.
I remember the commercial for that.
Yeah,
it's like the guys like this. Who are we playing against?
I could never get like an established connection with that. And then when the Xbox came out, my cousin's boyfriend had it, and he was like, "Dude, you need to like play this game." So I just played it, and then that's where like everything started, the KSI clans and all that stuff from Halo 2 back in the day. So Halo 2 for me was like my first real like immersion into first person shooters.
Halo 2 was that game for me where I thought I was God when I played story mode.
Yeah.
And I went online and said,
Yeah.
nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
I don't think I ever played the campaign for Halo 2.
It was a really good campaign. It was
I played
really
Halo
short.
1 for sure. I remember playing with my cousin Zach, like for hours, just playing Halo 2 on Halo 1 on Legendary. I don't think I ever played the Halo 2 campaign.
Yeah, I played some. Danny Warmers, probably not listening, but Danny Warmers, we actually tried to run through all the Halo games.
Mm-hmm.
And we played Halo 1, and then like another day we came back and played Halo 2. It was like 3 hours in, like that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they focus so heavily on the online aspect of it. I feel like nowadays, like when you get an online shooter, like when I play Call of Duty now, I don't even play the campaign anymore. Like I don't even download the campaign.
I watched the campaign.
Yeah,
I watched somebody else play.
Like now they have the files that you can download. Like I don't download campaign, I don't download zombies, I just download multiplayer.
I wonder if that would be a customization aspect for them later on. Like multiplayer is going to be free, but if you want to do the campaign, buy the campaign for like $25 and we'll give you like added bonuses for multiplayer.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how all these like free like battle royale games like Fortnite revolutionized gaming, right? So it's gonna be interesting to see.
Fortnite and PUBG, but Fortnite is the one that
Fortnite really like.
Fortnite got the younger kids, and that's what solidified it. Because I remember when they first came out, it was the conversation of, do you want realism or do you want fun?
Yeah.
And the kids said, I want fun. I don't want realism. So all of the people who were playing, traditional shooters went to PUBG, and all the kids grew up on Fortnite. My son plays Fortnite. He thinks he's the man, but he's not. So
it's gonna be interesting to see. But yeah, Halo 2 for me definitely like, cracked me into first person shooters for sure.
All right, let's see. That was number 7?
Yeah.
All right, my number 7, another game that no one's ever heard of, Legend of Lagaya.
I've heard of this game, but I've never played it. I've definitely heard of it. PS1, right?
PS1.
Yeah, I think I remember the cover. It's like a little elf on the cover or something.
No. It's a guy. He has blue hair and he has like this little like knife thing on his arm.
Okay, yeah. I think I know what you're talking about. I've heard of the game. I've never played it. What does it play like?
It's RPG. It's a JRPG, Japanese RPG. For those of you who are not familiar with JRPG, it's a Japanese RPG. But the thing that made it very unique was instead of just hitting attack, you had to put in specific attacks. Oh. So you had to press right, left, high kick, low kick, and if you put in certain combos, it did special moves.
Was it turn based?
Yes, it was turn based.
So it's like Chrono Trigger, all that stuff.
Yeah, it's turn based JRPG. But it was all based upon speed. So if your character was faster, your character got to go. The thing that, it wasn't like the best graphic game or anything like that, but it was a really good story.
Yeah,
and that's all that matters. That's really what drew me in, and yeah, it was one of the best stories of a video game that I had played until that point.
That's cool.
It centers around like this small town, and it's like this mist that's all around the town. And there's these little creatures called Siru, and they normally, like, if you put a Siru on, it makes you stronger, you can fly, it makes you smarter. But this mist came, and anyone who was wearing a Siru became this crazed person, and any Siru that were in the mist began attacking people. So there's this one town that's left, and they have these big walls around it. And a big monster just comes and just breaks the wall. The Siru walk in and start killing people. Wow. And then this guy gets summoned to the tree. The tree starts glowing, and the tree says, "Come here." And there's a special Siru called the Rasuru, and he's immune to the mist. So he puts him on, and then his goal is to get rid of the mist throughout the entire world. And this was the first time that I'd ever seen like a open world JRPG.
Wow, that's awesome.
So you can kind of like travel to different areas, you clear it, and then all of a sudden the map opens up, and that is a whole nother area for you to explore.
And that's PS1.
PS1.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah.
I have the game.
Some of those gems, man, on those PS1 is crazy.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah.
Do I have any more PS1 gems?
I
have one more PS1 gem.
I don't have any PS1 games on my list here.
All right, that was my number 7. I'm excited to announce number 6. But go ahead, number 6.
So my number 6 is GTA 3.
GTA 3 on them?
Yeah, so GTA 3 was the first Grand Theft Auto I ever played. Back on the PS2. I probably shouldn't have played it because I was only in, I think, middle school or maybe early high school when it came out.
Once when they're walking down the street, beep the horn, slow down, see if they turn around.
Yeah, so it was like, it was one of those games where I probably shouldn't have been playing it with my age, but GTA 3 for me was like my first like real introduction into that type of game, that mission based kind of like it's linear / open world. You can kind of do whatever you want to do. It just GTA 3, like obviously, 4 and 5 and, eventually 6 are much better. But for me, that was like my introduction into Grand Theft Auto. And a lot of games kind of copy that open world aspect. Like everybody wants like,
if you do an open world game, if it's not close enough to GTA,
like look at Red Dead Redemption. Like Red Dead Redemption, it's all Rocksteady. So they're GTA clones, but they're just with
Is it Rockstar?
Yeah, Rockstar. Sorry, Rocksteady is a different company, but
yeah,
exactly. So, GTA 3 for me was like my first introduction into that type of series. So I definitely have that on my list for sure.
All right. So I remember, I was in high school. I don't know if it was 10th or 11th grade.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine, Matt Rogers, he had GTA 3 on the PlayStation 2.
Yeah,
but he didn't have a memory card.
Oh, that sucks.
So he never turned the PlayStation off.
Oh, that sucks. Oh man,
he would not turn he wouldn't turn the PlayStation off.
I remember those days, man. No memory card. Oof.
Memory cards. Crazy.
Yeah, right? How far we've come. Dude, crazy.
All right, my number 6. And this is a game that they didn't have like the YouTube where you can look the stuff up. You have to actually read the game stuff.
The strategy guide, sure.
Sonic Adventure 2.
I love Sonic Adventure 2, man.
Adventure 2
I love. You know what? My thing about Sonic Adventure 2 was the soundtrack, man. The soundtrack was so good. Sonic Adventure 2, introduction of Shadow. I had it on the Dreamcast, so it was a little. I don't know if it was different on a PS2 or any.
I had
system.
it on the Dreamcast as well.
Yeah, I had it on the Dreamcast because that was like the home for Sega.
And then
games.
It came out again as Rivals.
Yeah,
on the GameCube.
Yeah, Sonic Adventure 2. I liked Sonic Adventure 1 a lot too.
It was good. I just thought 2 just.
It kind of like
it made it better. Yeah, you had the 2 stories. You had the dark side. Yeah, you had the light side, and then if you played both campaigns and you beat both, you then got the
Super
final
Sonic
campaign
and all that.
Super Sonic, Super
Shadow.
Yeah,
that was Sonic Adventure 2 was a really good game. That's pretty nice on a top 10 list. That's nice to see.
Yeah, that's number 6. Sonic Adventure 2.
That's awesome. So we're cracking into that top 5 now. So this is like where it starts to get hard, right? So my number 5 game is Pokemon Silver.
Wait. What system is Pokemon Silver on?
Game Boy Color.
Oof.
Yeah.
So is this after? This is after Red, Blue, and Gold.
Red,
Blue, and Yellow.
Right after Yellow. Yeah. Gen 2.
Gen 2.
Yeah. So for me, I played all of them. Red, Blue, Yellow. But for me, Pokemon Gold and Silver is still to this day the best Pokemon game ever made. Gen 2 is my favorite gen. My favorite legendary is Lugia, so I have a lot, in that region.
Zapdos.
Yeah, but the reason I liked Silver so much is because you do all of Johto and then you go to Kanto. Like you surf on over and then you do all the gyms in Kanto and you do the Elite Four in Kanto.
You're kind of talking above my head right now. Johto, Kanto.
So basically like the region that so like Kanto is like the region for Gen 1, which is like blue.
So you can do it over and then you get a new area.
So yeah, you do all of Johto, which is the area for Gen 2, and then when you finish the Pokemon League for Johto, you get the ability to surf over to Kanto. And then you do all of Kanto. So you fight Brock, Misty, Lieutenant Surge, all of them.
Which one is the game when you actually fight Ash and he has all his levels?
So you don't fight. So Ash is not a real character. Ash is a character that's made for the anime and Pokemon Yellow.
But I fought him.
You fight Red.
Yeah, that's his name.
Ash.
Red.
Yeah,
you fight Red.
He has
all the Pokemon from the game
on the top of Mount Silver.
Yeah,
which is Pokemon Gold. Is Gold or Silver. You fight him, and his Pikachu is like level 90.
Yeah,
he has his party. Like he has his party.
All the Pokemon that you see in the cartoon.
And to me, like at that point in gaming, like when Pokemon Silver came out when I was in like 5th or 6th grade, Red to this day is still one of the hardest boss fights I've ever come across. Beating him is like such an accomplishment. And it was just like, it took me forever to beat him. But yeah, Pokemon Silver for me, definitely top 5 because it started that whole Pokemon phase for me.
I remember when I was working at GameStop and people were trading their Pokemon cartridges and we wouldn't delete them. And I remember sitting there one day and I actually took a cartridge and I said, I'm going to get all of these top level Pokemon from all these different little kids that were coming and trade them in. And I was going to actually buy the game. I went back the next day to buy the game, and they sold it.
Oh,
and
man.
I was sitting there for about a few days, just sitting there with 2 different Nintendo DS systems, whatever they were, like, and trading them to the one that I want.
Oh, man.
And then someone sold the game.
That's a lot of work.
Oh, I was hot.
I would have bought the game first and then did that, though.
No, then it's weird. Then it's like, I'm coming into the game store with my own game, and then all of a sudden the same game goes missing, and it's like this. Well, Mark had it.
Yeah, I guess so.
So
yeah, Pokemon Silver, number 5.
All right, my number 5, GTA 5.
Okay,
GTA
I mean
5
that's
for
fair.
5.
That's fair. GTA 5 was a great game. That's super fair.
And I'm picking GTA 5 because this was the game where you finally got to play multiplayer with the whole world,
and it's still supported.
And it's multiplayer.
It's still supported now.
And it's still. I mean, it's
GTA
little,
Online is crazy.
Yeah, but it's just a little money hungry, a little transaction heavy.
Yeah,
$50 million car.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that being an issue. But I mean, GTA 5 came out in what, like 2015?
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a long time. Dude, if you go by, you can't get that game for like less than $25.
I think you get it for $20 now.
Okay,
$20
now,
yeah,
in 2020. Yeah,
yeah, I remember.
That game is super expensive. That game.
I traded it in, and then all of a sudden they just kept releasing stuff, and I had to go back and rebuy it.
Yep.
I traded it in, only got like $15 for it, and then GameStop, and then rebought it, and I had to pay $40 to get it again.
Yeah, man.
And I'm like,
that game has held so much value, and it just goes to show you, like, Grand Theft Auto has always been like really like even GTA 4. When GTA 4 came out on next gen back then, which is PS3 and Xbox 360, you know, it wasn't like very well celebrated. I like GTA 4 a lot.
I thought GTA 4 was pretty good.
Yeah, I like GTA 4 a lot. When GTA 5 came out, though, it was like
it was something weird though. It's like everything. It was like cloudy.
It was dark. It was really gloomy and dark. It was a lot of doom and gloom. I think it was an issue with the coloring.
It wasn't as bright.
Yeah, but GTA 5. Whenever they decide to come out with GTA 6 for next gen, obviously that's going to be huge.
What do you think they're going for GTA 6?
I wouldn't. You know what? With the power of the next gen consoles, I wouldn't be surprised to see a cross country type game. To be honest.
They got to include, because
you could do like
Vice City was the one that I was going to put initially.
Yeah, but you could do all of them. You could do what is it, Los?
But you really don't need to. If you do California, I mean, you can put casinos there. You got the beach area. You got the city aspect.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like the narrative, like the GTAs that we've had. We've had New York, so Liberty City. We've had Vice City. We've had, is it Los Santos?
Yeah.
We've had Los Santos, and there was another one, right?
What's the one? What is this called now? What city is this? Because Los Santos, I think, was just like the small area of
Yeah, what's like the big California one? Isn't Los Santos like the big California one?
I don't know. Somebody let us know. Oh, we're already at 27 minutes. Hey.
Yeah, but I think if you do if there's 3 or 4, however many regions there have been in Grand Theft Auto, if you do like that many main characters and just do like narrative, like, you know. You do a section here, you do a section here, you do a section here, and then when you get to a certain point of the game, everything opens up. I think that would be really cool. I think it would be a huge game. It'd probably be like a 150 gig game. You know, I'm going to fast travel from LA to New York. I just got to get on a plane and fast travel over.
I would like it if they kept the same exact thing, but the NPCs actually had schedules. So if you've ever, because Shenmue was a game that almost made my list. And the thing that was cool about Shenmue was the NPCs had schedules. So they woke up at certain times and then they went to work. Okay. So if you, depending on what time of day it was, you would find them either at home or you can find them at the store. Same thing with Oblivion. That was another
Elder
game
Scrolls, yeah,
that was another game. Fallout New Vegas was supposed to make the list, and it didn't make the list. It didn't make the list.
That's crazy.
So as I'm talking about Elder Scrolls and Fallout New Vegas should have made this list. I just didn't know what to cut. I probably should have cut Shadow of the Colossus and Fallout New Vegas, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
All right, so you are going to start number 4, right?
Yeah, so number 4, and this might be like super unpopular, but when I built my list, I got 9, I got my top 10 super easy, except for my 4th slot. Like, I didn't know what game to put in my number 4 slot. So I started thinking about, like games that, I wanted to put this, I wanted to put that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to say Call of Duty Warzone as my number 4 game.
Wow, really?
Here's why, okay? I played Fortnite when it first came out.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
I think it's a good game.
Yeah, so I played Fortnite when it first came out, before it was like what it is today, right? And I liked the idea of a battle royale game. I just didn't like the Fortnite engine. I didn't like the building. I didn't like any of
Yeah,
that.
I think that's stupid.
I just wanted to play a battle royale game. Right. I just wanted to play a battle royale game where I can go with my boys, with a squad with my boys or whatever, and just play. So when Warzone came out, I was like, okay, this is legit. And at first, I didn't like it too much because I really enjoyed the Modern Warfare multiplayer. But what I will say, especially with the COVID-19 pandemic, I haven't seen my friends, face to face in a very long time. The only interaction I can have with them at certain points was playing Warzone. So for me, it's more of like an emotional pick. But I did, enjoy playing Warzone, and now, whenever I just want to, play with the boys or whatnot, Warzone is that go-to game because we can all just get on and just play. So I'm gonna have to say, Call of Duty Warzone is my number 4.
Well, Modern Warfare 2 almost made my list.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's the best thing about the battle royale genre. Call of Duty, I think, hands down, has the best shooting.
Yeah, I agree.
There is.
I agree.
What's your favorite? What's your best Call of Duty game?
Oh, so my favorite Call of Duty.
Yeah, just your favorite.
My favorite is Ghosts. Call of Duty Ghosts is my favorite Call of Duty. But if you're asking me objectively, what's the best one?
No. I'm asking what's your favorite.
My favorite is Ghosts. Call of Duty Ghosts.
I'm somewhere between Ghosts and Black Ops 2.
I liked Black Ops 2 a lot.
I think Black Ops 2 hit detection was what killed.
Yeah, I liked Black Ops 2 a lot, but for me, Ghost, I had the most fun playing Ghosts.
Did you play Extinction Mode on Ghost?
No. We just played online multiplayer. Me, Gary, like
Extinction Mode is what made that game so like it was popping.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I didn't even play that. We just played a lot of multiplayer. Our clan was like ranked in the top whatever of the world. That's when I really played a lot of Call of Duty. After Ghost, I took a huge break. Just stopped playing.
I would have loved to have played in like a clan and did all that stuff.
Yeah, we did all the clan battles. We did everything, man. It was Gary actually sent me a screenshot of it the other day. Like reminiscing about it. Call of Duty Ghost was a really good game.
It didn't get a lot of good reviews.
No, it didn't. But it is what it is.
I remember going back to it. Like I got it for the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, the
going
remaster.
Back to it, and I was
terrible.
like,
it's unplayable. It's unplayable.
You can see the bullets going from the gun. I'm like, how did I enjoy this game?
Yeah.
Or that map that was open world with the broken down castle in the back. Yeah. Somebody's always sniping
I love
somewhere.
that map, dude. I used to love that map, man. Oh, that was I forget the name of it, but people used to camp on that map like crazy.
All right, let's see. I'm going to my number 4 game, a gem that you may have heard of, depending on if you are into the JRPGs. This is my last PlayStation 1 game, Grandia 2.
Yeah, Grandia is good.
Grandia 2. I played Grandia 1, I played Grandia 3. Grandia 2 is the one. And the cool thing about Grandia is if you time out your fighting process correctly, you can actually cancel the other attacks of the people who are coming to attack you.
Mm-hmm.
Which was, I was like, oh shoot, this made all of those random encounters you had in video games, instead of it being a chore, it almost became fun, and you got to strategize a bit more. And then it had like a really good story. I don't know if you can hear Iverson.
Iverson is snoring.
Sleeping on a gym bag. He's snoring.
He tapped out.
He can't hang. You can't hang, Iverson?
Yeah, I didn't really play a lot of the Grandias because I was super young at that time. But, I always, look at people's, top 10 JRPGs, and Grandia's always there at some point with Chrono Trigger and like some Final Fantasy game. They're always there. I
was hoping that they would have re-released Grandia 2. They re-released Grandia 1. And then Grandia 3 was just not a good game at all.
Yeah, I mean, now with like the next gen technology, like I know people don't really like when games get remastered because it's nothing new, but I'm okay with it. Like Final Fantasy VII Remaster to me or the reboot, whatever you want to call it, it's a different game from the original. Like it's not the same game. You sometimes you lose out on just enjoying a game because you're not taking it, for like the entertainment aspects of it, and obviously companies just want to make money. Who's not going to go and buy a rebooted Final Fantasy VII game? But you get to appreciate like where the technology has gone to, from where it started to where it is now. Like some of the games now, they just look incredible as opposed to all the pixelated stuff from back in the 90s.
I looked at it. I thought I wanted to play it. I watch people play it, and I'm like, I really don't want to play it.
Yeah, that's fair.
It turned into a hack and slash RPG.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, and that's just like the general evolution of these RPGs now. I mean, Final Fantasy 15, same thing. It was more of like a hack and slash, action RPG as opposed to just your traditional JRPG. Well, that's just the way it is.
But I felt like even with Final Fantasy 15, I felt like as I leveled up, I was able to like one hit some things. I feel like and I've never played Final Fantasy 7 Remake, but I feel like even if you leveled up, you were still fighting every fight.
I guess they want to just make it a challenge. And for us as gamers, like there's two types of gamers. There's the gamer who wants to progress with the game, and then there's the gamer who is like, how high can I level up, in side quests and then just blow through the game.
That's me.
So I'm like that too. As soon as Final Fantasy 15's open world came, like in chapter 3, I was like, I just did everything open world, all the side quests before continuing with the story. By the time I got to the last boss, I like one-shotted him, and I was just like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm Ciara when it comes to these videos.
Yeah.
Level up.
Yeah.
Level up.
Exactly.
Level up.
So that was what, number 4? Oof. So we're cracking top 3 now.
All right, I just pressed something on here. I don't know what I did. All right, so my number 4, you already said. So, all right, here we go. You're at number 3 now.
So top 3. All right, so top 3. This I feel like any of these games could be interchangeable in the top 3. I guess it really just all depends on what means more to you as a gamer, as a player. But my number 3 favorite game of all time is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Never played any of the Legends of Zelda.
So do yourself a favor. When they come out with the N64 Mini in 2021, pick it up, because I'm pretty sure Ocarina of Time is going to be on there.
They didn't remake it? They didn't remaster it?
Ocarina of Time might have got remastered for the 3DS. But not for the Switch. I'm not sure. But when they come out with the N64 Mini, because they're gonna do it at some point, it's probably gonna be one of the titles on there.
So then Batman Arkham City must be either your number 2 or number 1.
I'm not gonna give it away just yet. I'm not gonna give it away just yet.
That game.
But Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. So for me, it was either Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time or Mario 64. And then I looked at it and I was just like, there's no way Legend of Zelda is not better than Mario 64. Ocarina of Time was such a good game. Like, Link is such an interesting character. The story of Zelda and Ganondorf, and the just everything that they built, like that world is so interesting.
Can I watch it? Will I get the same effect as if I watch it? Because I watched The Last of Us and watched The Last of Us 2.
So there's no dialogue. There's no voice acting.
It doesn't matter.
You have to read everything.
Hey, listen.
Yeah, Navi's in there. That's probably like the only voice acting that you get. Or you get a couple heys every once in a while. But I feel like you could probably watch it, but I feel like you would enjoy it more if you played it. Because there's a couple different ways you can go.
Got it.
There's a couple different... It's not linear to where you have to do things in a specific order for the entire game. You can kind of do like your temples at different times. But for me, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time is my number 3 best game of all time, for sure.
All right, coming back to me, number 3. And this game has 3 games, but I picked the second one. Kingdom Hearts 2.
Okay, yes, Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts 2. I felt like that was like the perfect balance of story, and you were able to just be a god in that game.
Yeah, unless you fought Sephiroth. Sephiroth always.
Yeah, I never beat Sephiroth.
Yeah, it took me a long time to beat him.
Is that one of the best was that one of the most challenging boss fights? Because he would do this thing where he would like swipe and just like
the angel wing
take
thing.
your one, take you down to 1, and then he just come over and just swipe you with the last.
Yeah, I actually didn't have my characters maxed out when I fought him.
I had my characters maxed out.
Yeah, I went back and maxed everybody out and then fought him, and I still had a huge problem. So I put the cheat codes in for infinite health to beat him, just because I needed to beat him.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I beat him the first time, and I kind of saw kind of figured out his patterns, I went back without cheat codes, and it still took me like 6 or 7 more tries to beat him. He was really tough. He was a really tough boss. Cloud just kind of gets in the way too in that fight. Like, he doesn't really help you too much. So, I don't know. Kingdom Hearts 2 is definitely a great game. Like,
I hated the way it started. When you had to be a different character. And
you were Roxas, right?
Yeah, you're Roxas. Like, we're Sora. And then it's like, I guess that's how they use the whole aspect of teaching you the game.
Yeah.
And then eventually, when you become Sora and you figure out who Roxas is, you go, oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they did a really good job with the world building. I really enjoyed Birth by Sleep also, which is like the prequel to the first one.
Birth by Sleep is when you're Roxas, right?
No, you're Aquos, Terra,
yes,
and Ventus.
Yes.
I really enjoyed, and then Master Xehanort is in there too. I really enjoyed Birth by Sleep a lot because it kind of like introduces you to that world, like with the Heartless and everything like that.
What was the one I'm talking about? 362 over half.
358 over 2?
Yeah, 358.
Yeah, that was
2.
for the DS. I never played that one.
I enjoyed that because you're Roxas.
Okay.
In the game.
Yeah.
And they weren't sure if Roxas was going to complete the job, so they cloned Roxas.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a cool aspect. So
yeah, they actually have the Kingdom Hearts collection now, like all of the games in one little bundle for like PlayStation 4. I might pick it up just to play
it's not a bad replay.
Yeah,
I don't know if I want to play Kingdom Hearts 1 again though.
Kingdom Hearts 1 was definitely like bare bones. It was definitely
good
bare
for
bones.
the time, but after playing 2 and beyond, it's like
2 was just really, it was way faster. Like the combat was just like smooth.
That one part right there when you go on top of, I forgot where you go, and it's like 100 machines, and you just like, You get taking this one and turn it into the gun. And I'm like, whoa, this is happening right now?
Yeah.
I've never seen this many enemies on screen at one time. But then you go back and you realize, oh, okay, they're just rendered into the background. And there's only this many enemies at one time, and then one just like jumps in when you defeat one.
Kingdom Hearts, to me, like that whole franchise, Kingdom Hearts.
I don't know who this one person has been watching the entire time. It's like one person's been watching the entire time. Shout out to you. You're the real MVP.
The thing for me, like Kingdom Hearts really showed me that you can use any type of character model. You can use any type of like okay, so like the Disney characters, right? For example, as long as you have a really good story and you have, you can invest the player into the game. Character models really don't matter. They could be stick figures. But as long as you have a good narrative, I think, is what's important.
But this one was different. When somebody told me Final Fantasy and Disney, I was like, I'm sold.
I wasn't. I wasn't sold on that. Had it
been Final Fantasy and Disney, and somebody saying, yo, this and this and that, I would never play that game. I never heard of the game. I was working at McDonald's, and it was like these two loser guys named Keith and Earl. And all they would do was they spend their money on video games. They were like older than us, and they had like bad teeth.
Nice.
And they would just work the midnight shift. And one of them, I can't remember whether it was Keith or Earl, was like this: "You ever play Kingdom Hearts?" I'm like, "What's Kingdom Hearts?"
I'm picturing him.
Pass me that large fry.
What he looks like.
Pass me the fry and the 10-piece nugget. No, man, you got to talk about some Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts was really good.
Final Fantasy and Disney. You ever want to be Donald Duck shooting some electricity?
I kind of hated Donald though. I hated Donald Duck.
Yeah, I think I would like to play a Kingdom Hearts game where it's a little darker. I mean, they've tried to go there with it, but it's still just like a cute animated world.
It has and
I wanted to have more emphasis on the Final Fantasy. I think they really got away from that.
Maybe they'll make another one for next gen.
Did this one end?
I didn't play 3.
I played 3.
I know there was DLC after it, so I don't know.
I beat 3, and I felt like it ended. I think there's 3 focused on the Pixar worlds.
Yes.
So all of those other worlds are Disney worlds, and I would like to have gone to a Final Fantasy world.
That would have been cool. Like, just play World of Final Fantasy.
Like to just take Sora to Midgar.
I don't think he would survive.
Or take Sora to like one of the
That would be
bases.
interesting. Maybe that'll be the 4th game. Just email Sony and be like, I have an idea.
All right, here we go. Number 2.
All right, so number 2 is Batman Arkham City on my list.
There we go.
So Batman.
Look, he's gonna give more of a detailed story.
Batman Arkham Asylum came out in 2009 or 2008, something like that. 2005. Whenever it came out, I was so hyped for it, but it left me like wanting more because that last boss fight with Joker was garbage, right? When Arkham City got announced and when Arkham City came out and they basically were like giving you open world Batman, I was like, yes. Like I put so many hours into that game, platinum trophy, whatever you want to call it. And for me, I grew up heavy on the Batman animated series, which is basically the whole
Yeah.
team behind the game, right? Like Paul Dini was the writer, you had all the original voice actors. So for me, it was like going back into that world of the animated series. You know, Kevin Conroy is still the best Batman to me of all time, like just the voice and everything like that. And Mark Hamill's the best Joker. Like that duo is just, you can't beat that, right? So for me, the game itself was great. It looked good on the Unreal Engine, like everything was great, but the story, man, like the story, you know, with Hugo Strange and then Ra's al Ghul like in the back there, just kind of like being the puppet master, and then Joker at the end, you know, spoiler alert if you haven't played it, you know, Joker at the end dying, it was just like,
I just realized I picked the wrong Batman game.
why?
It wasn't Batman Arkham City.
Which one?
It was the one after that.
Arkham Knight?
Arkham Knight. Is the
Oh,
one I
bro,
meant to say.
Arkham Knight was good, but it's definitely not.
Arkham Knight was the one I meant to say.
Arkham Knight was good though. Arkham Knight was a really good game.
Like just the aspect, calling your car
Yeah.
is what I do in my
Batmobile.
dreams, man. I do it in my
Batmobile.
dreams. It's like I'm just sitting somewhere. Come on, get the car over here.
Yeah, the Arkham. I really like Arkham Knight. I really like all of them. Arkham Origins I thought was really solid too.
I didn't play Arkham Origins.
It was a really good story. It just had a lot of really bad like glitches and bugs in the game. But Arkham City is just that. It's the Dark Knight of video games to me. Like Dark Knight, probably still to this day is going to be on everybody's list as like the #1 comic book movie ever made. Right. So.
Is that the second one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Joker.
That's the best.
That's like the pinnacle of superhero movies, right? So Arkham City to me is like the pinnacle of superhero games. And up to that point, superhero games were suffering. Like they hadn't made a lot of them. They hadn't made a lot of good ones. And then now you get Arkham and
Spider-Man was pretty decent.
Spider-Man came after and basically just
No. The Spider-Man for PlayStation 2.
Oh yeah, I mean it was good. It was good. You know, but like when you look at Arkham and you're looking at that refined combat system, which a lot of games use now, that free flow combat, you know, I think that game was like, you know, like icing on the cake. Like I rarely give games 10 out of 10, but that was like a 10 out of 10 for me.
I don't remember if I actually ever beat that one.
Oh.
I feel as if I did, but I don't remember it.
It's not a long game. Like if you do the main story, you could probably bang it out in like 8 hours. Like the main story is probably like 8 hours.
Just 8 hours, no big deal.
I mean, yeah. I mean, compared to now, when you have like main stories are like 20 hours, 8 hours is nothing. But yeah, like it's a good game, you know. And it's slightly repetitive in certain aspects when you're dealing with just like the random thugs, but when you're dealing with like the main bosses, like it's good.
Quick question before we get to our number twos. Do you plan on playing this game, Cyberpunk?
No.
Is it because of the bugs or you're just not interested?
So it's both.
Ooh, look at the frog.
Yeah, I was not in, like, everybody was super hype about Cyberpunk. I saw it and I was just like meh about it. And all of my friends have it and they're just like, this game is unplayable. Like one of my friends, Matt, he bought the game and he got it refunded from Sony Interactive because it was so bad.
Yeah, I heard they've lost a ton of money in their stocks.
Well, I think the problem is that they rushed the game to come out before it was complete. I think they really underestimated how much went into the game. Like, there's a lot of customization. There's like, you can make your character from the ground up, literally.
I don't know that. Let me see. How can I word this? I don't know if they rushed it because they kept pushing it back. They pushed it back.
Should have pushed it back another year. In my opinion.
Think so?
Yeah. If you want the game to come out with no issues or like minor bugs, I would have pushed it back another year. So what? Make people wait. Who cares? They're still gonna buy it.
Well, it's just that's the thing. People want instant gratification.
Oh well.
And then they go,
That's
well,
but that's the
I want
problem.
the game now. I want the game
that's
now.
the problem.
And then the game comes out and people are like this. What? What's this? My only issue was that it was almost unplayable on base consoles.
It's unplayable on current gen consoles. If you don't have a PC or a PS5 or an Xbox X, Series X, you could literally not play the game. It's broken for current gen.
Goodness.
Yeah.
I think that was the issue they should have worked out. There's no reason why that games have been broken on current consoles.
They should have just made it exclusive to next gen, honestly, and PC. But they want to, milk
they
everything.
Couldn't.
They want to milk everything for what it's worth.
There's not enough people with the new current gen.
That's also a problem too.
So they would have a bunch of games that would be unsold. And that would screw them over.
But I have no interest in playing it. It just doesn't. I'm not into that whole cyberpunk, steampunk type stuff. So,
I mean, I wanted to play like they said. This is revolutionary. This is what RPGs are gonna be looking for the next 15 years.
I'm good.
They should know. All right, so we're down to number 2. Two left.
I'm curious to see what your number 2 is.
Final Fantasy VIII.
Okay, that's my favorite Final Fantasy. That's
VIII.
really high up on the list, though. But I get it. It was the first Final Fantasy that I like played.
It's the first Final Fantasy I played and beat.
Yeah.
I played and beat 7. I played and beat 8. I played and beat 9. I played and beat 10. And I skipped all the way up past all those weird ones. And then I played and beat 15.
Final Fantasy VIII was great. Squall is my favorite.
Squall is one of my favorite characters.
He's one of my favorite. He's my favorite protagonist in the whole
He's one of my favorite characters. Everyone's, oh, but what about Cloud? I'm like, for the most part, Cloud was pretending to be someone else.
Yeah,
he didn't
Cloud
realize
is your favorite character can't be Cloud because he's Zack.
Yeah.
So that's basically it.
Now, the Crisis Core, is that the one?
That's what Zack.
When you're Zack, that was a good one. But I didn't put it on my list because I didn't play it. I watched it.
So Crisis Core, to me, everybody loves Final Fantasy VII, right?
Yeah.
That's like everybody's baby. You know, the story and Aerith dying and this and that in the world. Okay, great. But when you're like digging deep into the lore of Final Fantasy VII, there is no Final Fantasy VII without Zack and like what he did in Crisis Core. Now, playing Crisis Core, it was a fun game, but the cinematics is what really does it for you. Like you can go on YouTube and just literally watch all the cutscenes from Crisis Core,
yeah,
and you'll get the story. And that Zack, he does not get as much credit as I think he deserves.
Because everybody likes Cloud.
Because everybody likes Cloud. But yeah, Crisis Core,
it's the blonde hair.
Yeah, I cried at the end of it. Like I
thought it was the saddest, most beautiful game.
Yeah, it was the ending in that game. Like I've cried in a couple of games. In my number 1 game, I cried at the end.
I never cried though. I'm a gangster.
No, I cried. I don't care. I cried like full on, like ugly cry, like like sad, like weeping. Like I felt like it was. You feel it. You get invested and you feel it. And Crisis Core's story was really good. The gameplay was kind of garbo. It was on PSP though.
Yeah.
If there's one thing I ever really wish for is a remake of Final Fantasy VIII, like they did Final Fantasy VII, and a remake of Crisis Core for next gen. Those are the two things I would want.
There was something weird about it though, like those other 2 characters and them turning into angels and dying and stuff. I didn't fully comprehend.
I mean, they're part of Soldier. You know, you had Angeal, and you had Angeal was like the main guy who was like Zack's mentor, and then you had. Oh, I forget the other guy's name. You had Sephiroth, you had Angeal, and you had
one more guy.
The redhead guy. Azazel? I forget his name. But they basically were, you know, it was the Genova project. They were all injected with Genova cells. They all warped themselves, you know. Angeal was the only one who, like, stayed good. And then Sephiroth kind of went nuts when he found out that he was part of an experiment. And then the rest is history. But Crisis Core really digs into, like, the origin of Soldier and, like, Shinra. And like it gives you backstory, and I like Cloud more because of Crisis Core, but I don't like Cloud if he doesn't have that backstory, basically, because he's nothing, he's nobody, he's just trying to be Zack.
All right, here we go. Number one game. This is the time you've been waiting for. What is our number 1 game?
So my number 1 game, and I'm a big fan of the series. I'm a big fan of the genre. But my number 1 game of all time is Final Fantasy X.
Oh,
stop!
They wouldn't stop talking.
Okay, but see, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing.
Stop talking.
Here's the thing, right? It was the first fully voice-acted Final Fantasy game.
Wouldn't stop.
People give it flack for it being a little linear, which I get. The combat system was great. The leveling system was not. The sphere grid definitely takes a little.
I didn't mind it being linear, to be honest.
Yeah. The thing what got me about Final Fantasy X was the story. Like the whole idea of Sin being what he was. Seymour to me was a great villain, and that whole struggle between religion and politics, and you know that clash. But then once everything gets unraveled, you find out that it's all in cahoots, and it's all just it was such a good well-built story, and for it being a Final Fantasy game that doesn't have a lot of post game content or like open world content. It gets a lot of criticism for it. But for me, I just want to sit down and play a really good story and get invested into the world, get invested into the characters. Titus is one of the more annoying main characters, but his arc from start to finish
Well,
is
the kid from Final Fantasy VIII is probably really annoying.
yeah. But Titus's arc, or Titus, however you pronounce it, Titus's arc from start to finish, like the maturity, the growth, the him realizing that he's not real. Essentially, he's being dreamt up. Was just like, whoa, like that twist in the end was just like, whoa. And then you find out Auron's dead too. It was just like,
yeah, that was cool. That was like
just
a cool twist. Like, oh shit, he was dead the whole time.
Like the whole time, like you're playing as Titus. You're playing as this guy.
Sorry,
right?
spoilers, all of it.
Yeah, you're playing as this guy, right? Who at the beginning of the game, the developers want you to. This is your main character, Titus, right? But the whole time you're playing the game, he's not the main character. It's Yuna, because it's her story. It's her pilgrimage. It's her like living up to her father's legacy and ridding the world and sacrificing herself from sin. And then when you realize it, you're just like, wow, like I just played a 20-hour story as this guy who means nothing. It's all about Yuna. That was just a really touching story.
Like, how come nobody else decided, let's just kill sin? Like, why were they the first ones to go,
it's all part of the religious teaching. Like sometimes, whether however you feel about religion or not, the whole idea of it being, influential and, making you do certain things a certain way, depending on how heavily you're invested in the belief system or whatnot. They just stray away from, the tradition or whatnot. And the problem with that game is the highest people in authority, they were all hypocrites because they're all unsent. They're all part of the problem. So it was just really, it was a really nice, like, it was just a really good story. Like, if anything, that's one of those games, too, where you can go back and watch all the cutscenes and you just be like, wow, this is really good.
It sort of reminds me of Grandia 2, because Grandia 2 was a highly religious game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in the beginning of time, you had light and you had dark. And light and dark got into this really big battle, and light defeated dark, but light got really, really hurt. And in the process of defeating dark, it broke dark up into, I think, about maybe 5 or 6 pieces.
Okay.
And they're hidden somewhere. And if you actually touch it, you get possessed by the piece. So they have like these matriarch women who will go around, and they're supposed to this one girl is supposed to get possessed by all the pieces. And then you don't find this out until the end of the game. She goes around to each piece and she gets possessed by it. And then at the end of the game, they're supposed to kill her so they can kill the darkness. But come to find out, the person who was in charge, like this head priest, he didn't want to kill it. He actually wanted to possess it, all the pieces together. And then you find out that light died in the beginning of the game. Darkness defeated it, and that's how it got broken into pieces.
Oh, wow.
And it killed light. So they're saying you've been praying to a god that's been dead.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa.
Yeah, those types of twists, those narratives, like, the people that are writing these stories, like, they really care about the world that they're building.
Should have turned the camera to me when I was explaining that, but whatever.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
I forgot.
They really care about developing this story. And, like, for me, like, again, like, I love a heavy-driven narrative. Like, again, graphics are nice, gameplay is nice, but I really like the story. I like watching movies, I like reading books, trying to create my own stuff or whatnot. So if a game has a really good story, then I can definitely get behind it.
All right, here we go. Before we end this 58-minute journey that we've been on, my number one game.
Oh boy,
Mass Effect 2.
I had a feeling it was gonna
Mass Effect 2.
It was gonna be the N7. I never played Mass Effect 2.
If I'll play Ocarina of Time, you play Mass Effect.
Yeah, I mean, I played the first Mass Effect and I liked it. I never played the second one though.
I played the first Mass Effect and I said,
Yeah, Mass Effect 2 was
I played Mass Effect 2 and it was like, yo, like this is a good game. It was one of those games where you really felt a connection to each character, and each character was so unique and after you did missions, you would actually go into the ship before going on to the next mission, and you can just go around and just talk to the character, and depending on the decisions you made or whatever happened, that's the interaction you would have with the character. And you're upgrading your ship, and then you're finding new characters and you're meeting them, and then there's an aspect where you have to do like a loyalty mission with them in order for them to like fully embrace you as being like the captain. and it felt like the choices that you made mattered, whether this person lived or this person died, how you handled the situation. And then they have romance options. Romance. So
that's always fun.
And that was the game. I think what made that game for me was the fact that the suicide mission. And you realize, like, oh shoot, if you plan wrong, there are certain characters that die forever. Based on how you plan.
I like games that have consequences. That's always been really cool.
Yeah, this is.
I don't think games do enough of that. Like the Telltale games do a good job, but it's not. The Telltale games aren't really like, they're not real games. You know, they're just like
stories.
Yeah, but I like them. I enjoy it. I wish games did more. Like there was a game that came out, Heavy Rain. I never really played it, but it's not
Heavy Rain.
Yeah, it's not really a game, right? It's just like an option chooser type thing. Like there's no actual like.
There is a game. I would consider it a game.
Okay.
Because there are different aspects in which you have to do, but it does have a lot of quick time events.
Yeah, the QTE. I like QTEs. I like them when they're scribbles.
I don't like QTEs.
I like QTEs. I think they're cool.
Like this.
For like the cinematic aspect of it.
Yeah, it's a decision making simulator.
Okay.
And same thing. Characters come in, they have consequences, and if they die, they're gone for good. The thing about mine was I didn't realize that one of my characters died.
Oh wow.
So it's like at the end of the game, and the person's like, call someone, and you're like, I'll call this person, and the person doesn't pick up. You're like, oh shoot, he's dead.
Oh snap, that's pretty crazy.
And the character didn't even know they were dead. Like there was this one scene in Heavy Rain. Spoiler alert if you haven't played it. So one of the female characters, she's looking into I forgot who she's searching for, and she goes to this doctor's house. And you can just tell he's weird. Like something's off. He's weird. He's asking, you want something to drink? And he's sure, I'll have something to drink. And he goes, I'm gonna get something to drink. So as he's in the kitchen, you kind of walk around and start looking through stuff. And you'll walk around, get you a little icon and look. And you just, something was just off about it. And I just decided to just leave. And I got a trophy for leaving.
Oh, wow.
Because it said, you paid attention. So if you didn't leave and you stayed, he actually drugged your drink. And he dragged you down to the basement and strapped you down to the chair. And he's going to like do surgery on you. Because he got his rocks off that way. And then it creates a whole scene where you have to get out of that.
What? This game sounds insane. I gotta actually play it.
You play Heavy Rain, play Detroit, Like Human.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
There's another.
There's a horror game too, right? Like Dying Light or
Beyond Dawn or Until Dawn.
Until Dawn. Yeah. Okay.
That's the other one that's like that as well.
Okay, I'll check those out.
And I think there was another one where it's like you're like a cop or something like that.
I think that was Detroit. No. Too Human.
No, not Too Human.
Oh, the one for I know you're talking about.
And they remade it.
Yeah, something Break, Quantum Break.
No, not Quantum Break. It was another one, and they remade it. It's
Beyond
like,
Two Souls.
No, it's like a 1950s game.
LA Noire.
Yes,
that's like Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, it's not. It's not
QTE.
Okay,
it's an actual like. That's a great game. I don't know.
It is.
Damn, LA Noire is a great game.
I never played it.
It's Grand Theft Auto for if you're a good guy, like you're a cop in this one. But it's like really heavy on like the interrogation and like gathering clues, and you have to pay attention to body language and stuff. LA Noire is a really good game.
Oh, Kitora said that's awesome. I wonder what game she was talking about.
Yeah.
All right, we're done. That is an hour and 2 minutes. So thanks for tuning in. But before we get on out of here, if there's a top 10 that you want to hear, please let me know in the comments. That's something we may cover eventually in the future. But Adrian, thanks so much.
Thanks for having me, man. Anytime, let me know.
Maybe we'll come back and do a top 10 video game trilogies or something like that.
That's interesting.
So that way you can Final Fantasy is number 1.
Nah, trilogy. Nah, I wouldn't even put that in there. I don't know.
So
trilogies is tough.
I got a few trilogies go off the top of my head. Thanks for coming into the gun show. Ooh. All right, signing off. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time. Make sure you like and subscribe, share, let everybody know what's going on out there. I don't know. That's a weird outro.
Just edit it.
Anything you want to say?
No, I mean it was fun. I like talking about stuff that I like to talk about.
I think that's what a lot of people like talking about.
Exactly. So it was a lot of fun, and if you ever want to do something in the future, just let me know.
Got it. All right, we're out of here. Till next time.
Deuces.